Okay, you guys, so it's time for part 2. If you watched part 1, you know that I filmed these back to back. I'm wearing the same face, you guys. So this is going to be my top 10 overrated baby items. So again, I have to stress, these are overrated to me. They might have worked for you. If you want to give them a try, they may still work for you if you're a new parent watching, who stumbled across my video and is watching. These are just items that I found to be really overrated and if I tried them, didn't so much work for me. And there's actually items on here that I've used or that I do use that I still think are not necessity, whereas people will kind of make you feel like you have to have them, that they are necessity number 1 for babies. So here is my list of 10 overrated items. Again, not in any order, and again, my personal list. Might have worked for you. So the first thing is going to be a Peepee teepee. So some of you might not know what a Peepee teepee is, especially if you don't have kids, especially if you don't have boys. So they have these little, again, I'm gonna try to put pictures in here. Hopefully I remember to do that, and I can do that. But they have these little things, they literally look like teepees, that you can take a baby boy's diaper off and put it on top of his little pee-pee so that he can't pee on you. So, I'm sorry. I honestly, I don't judge anyone who wants to use it. It's not fun being peed on, I get it. But I have 2 boys. Lennon is my 3rd, he's cooking. And I've never been peed on by my sons. I think once Isaiah or A peed the bed really quick. But I don't even think that they peed on Jason either. I'd have to ask him that. But my sons never peed on me, so I don't really feel like this would have been a necessity for me. And also, as long as you're pretty quick, or if you keep the clean diaper underneath the dirty one so that you're cleaning and then pulling out and putting right on, you're not gonna really use that. So it's kind of more one of those gimmicky items. It's cute, and if it worked for you because you were getting peed on 10 times a day, great. But for me, that was just super overrated. I just don't think I would waste my money on it. But yeah, Peepee teepee. I like the name. The next item on my list is a Rash cream brush. So I didn't even know these existed, and then I saw, I think it was in a baby magazine, an ad for a brush that specifically, it kind of looked like a toothbrush actually, which if it looks like a toothbrush and you could just get a soft toothbrush for $1 and just do it with that, but that's neither here nor there. So it's specifically for what it sounds like it's for. So you put the Rash cream, some Desitin or some butt paste on the brush, and you use the brush instead of your hand to apply the butt paste or Rash cream to your baby's butt. Now, some may say, well, it's more sanitary than your hand, but the brush still would have to be cleaned properly and stored really well for that to be the case. I mean, and you can just wash your hands before you change your baby's diaper. Also, you could, what I do with my kids, because I didn't always want to rub their tushy, especially if they have a really bad rash, what I would do is just put the diaper cream kind of right on their diaper, so the diaper is clean and sterile. You put it right on their diaper and then use the diaper to kind of smush it on their butt and then close the diaper, seal the diaper. So for me, a Rash cream brush just doesn't fit into my life. I have no use for it, and it would just be a waste of money for me. The next thing on my list are baby towels. So now I've used baby towels. I've probably still have a couple in my closet somewhere. I registered for a baby towel that I thought was really cute for Lennon, but at the end of the day, those are not a necessity. So if you are someone with multiple kids and trying to save a little money, you don't need to feel like you have to have a ton of little baby towels laying around. Some might say that they're softer. That depends on the towel. The cheaper the towel that I've bought, they are kind of softer and thinner. The little bit more expensive ones do have that more terry cloth feel, but you can just invest in a really nice towel that the whole family could use. You just wash them. I mean, for me, it's just not a necessity. So again, it's something that I use and I have used, but it's not a necessity, and it's kind of overrated to say that your baby needs a robe or a hooded towel specifically made for babies. They're cute and everything, but they're not necessities. So that's why they're on my list. The next thing is going to be, they have thermometers for bathtubs, for bath water, where you can, I think they have one that attaches to your specific faucet, and then they have one like it's a toy and you can like dip it in the water and then it'll tell you what the water temperature is to see if it's safe for your baby to go into the bath. And again, I don't want to sound ever like I'm being super condescending or like I'm a know-it-all or like I'm judging someone for using that product. If it makes you feel better that you have an exact temperature that you're trying to hit for your kid and make sure they don't go above or below that temperature, great. But I sort of feel like you can be the gauge of if water is too hot for your child. Sometimes I know weather-wise, children can be a little more sensitive to heat and cold than we are, but take that into account. I like to bathe in really, really, really hot water, but I wouldn't put my children in that sort of bath. I've had children of my own for 9 years, and I've babysat a crap ton of kids, and I have 3 younger siblings who were born when I was 8, 9, and 10. So I've given plenty of baby a bath, and I've never once burned a baby or an infant or a toddler or a child. I think you can just use your own skin to gauge whether something's too hot for them or not, and then just don't put them in it if it's too hot. So that to me was a waste of money. I just wouldn't use it. It has no real use in my house. The next thing is a Diaper Genie. So these are really popular. I don't want any Diaper Genie moms coming for me in this post, but I just feel like for me, Babies R Us used to sell these little, they literally look like grocery bags, but like tiny. And it fit like a couple of diapers, maybe 1 or 2, like 3. It depends on how big your baby is. And then they were scented, so you can like you could tie the bag and you would not smell that there was a dirty diaper in there. The purpose of the Diaper Genie is that it's supposed to contain the smell and kind of squish all your diapers down into this like sausage of a diaper sausage. And then you get rid of it from there, and there's replacements that you can buy. But for me, it would be a waste of money for me. I probably wouldn't even remember to use it, because for me, it's just easy to toss it in a bag and throw it right out, or take them right out of your house. Or, like I said, you can use those specialized bags that are scented, so you throw it in there, tie it, and whatever. But really, that's just a waste of plastic. Honestly, you can just throw it in the trash. I don't know. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing anyone who wants to use a Diaper Genie. Like I said, if it makes your life easier to use one and you really, really like it, use it. I've heard mixed reviews on them where people say that they don't necessarily help with the smell, and then changing them out is kind of, you can smell it. So just kind of use your own discretion on that if you want to try it out or not. But I've just heard from people that I know that it was a kind of a waste of their money and time, and they would forget to use it. So for Isaiah, I didn't have a Diaper Genie, but I had a container that was kind of similar to a Diaper Genie, or it had the same premise. So it had refill bags that you can kind of sort out. Literally, it looked like a sausage. You would cut it, tie the bag up, put it back in. It was scented. It was supposed to contain the smell. And honestly, I would forget to use it. You know, you change your baby so many different places. You're not always in the same place changing your baby. that I just wouldn't use it as often. So kind of just gauge your lifestyle and whether or not you think it would be useful to you, and then go from there. The next item is Swaddle Me Blankets. So in my last video, I spoke about receiving blankets and how receiving blankets can really work as a burp cloth. So you can kind of drape them over your shoulders so that babies, you know, you can wipe up baby vomit, wipe up their face. You can swaddle babies in receiving blankets. Some people say, well, I don't really swaddle that well. You can learn. You have to learn. To get them kind of tight like the hospital does it, you got to be kind of good. You got to practice, and you also have to not be afraid of hurting your baby, because some people think, well, I don't want to do it too tight. You know, you got to kind of just go in. Now I have used Swaddle Me's and I actually like them. I think they're cool. It's convenient that they just have like the little Velcro and you can do what you want, but they can get really expensive. And so for this reason, that they're on my overrated list, and they are not necessities to me, because receiving blankets you can get for, I want to say receiving blankets you can get for like 5 of them in a pack for 10, 15 bucks. Swaddle Me's can be 25, 30 bucks for a pack of 2 or 3. And they're sizes. So you have like newborn size and then this like medium size, and it's like, it's a lot more money for a lot less product. And for me, when you have a child, or if you have more than one child, it's just not as practical to be spending so much money on an item where something else does the same job. So like I said, I actually like Swaddle Me's. I think they're cool. I like the way that they look. I like that there is an ease of use there for people who don't necessarily know how to swaddle your baby as good as you. Maybe grandma, you're sending them to grandma's house and she can't swaddle your baby to save her life, or even dad sometimes can't swaddle the baby to save their lives. And so for that reason, I think it's a cool item. I just don't think it's a necessity, and the price is the main thing for why it's overrated for me, when a receiving blanket is significantly cheaper and can do the same thing. So my next item on my list are going to be changing tables. So this one might be a little not controversial, but when people are putting together a specific nursery, if your child has their own room and they're going to have their own nursery or their own side of a room, you know, maybe you have another child and they're going to split, it's a big piece of nursery furniture that's sold in a lot of stores and is kind of seen all over TV and movies. It's kind of one of those items that you just always think you're gonna have and you're gonna use. So when I had Soph, someone actually, I think, gave me a changing table. Either that or I bought it off of someone for really cheap, but I'm pretty sure someone gifted it to me, like just gave me theirs, like an old one that they had. And when I tell you, I think I might have changed her on it one time. Like, yeah, I think I changed her on it one time. We never used it. You're hardly ever gonna go into the baby's nursery to change them specifically, or at least I didn't. I don't, and actually a lot of the parents I know, because I've actually asked a few people, like, hey, did you find changing tables useful? Like, am I gonna be a complete dick for putting this in my video? But like, no one I know used them, even if they had them and spent a lot of money on them. I mostly change my baby on the floor, on my bed, on the couch. You change them where you are. So I wouldn't have specifically went to use the changing table. Maybe if I had paid hundreds for it and tried to get some good use out of it. But for me, no use. So for us, it just became clear that we have no real use for that. So Lennon does have a changing table attachment on the pack and play that we're gonna be using in our bedroom for him. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably not gonna be really used very much, because I don't know, like I said, you just don't go and like, oh, baby smells, but I'm in the living room, let me walk upstairs and do this. You kind of just change them where you are. So if changing tables were useful to you and you like them for storage and you use them, great. For me, it was really not practical to have them. Again, with 3 kids, I mean, we never use them. The next item are gonna be wipe warmers. So I actually know a couple people that use these and loved having warm wipes to wipe their babies with, but for me, it was just it's just a waste of money. I've never owned one. I have been actually near one. I know people that have them, and so I've seen what they do and how warm they get the wipes and everything, but how cold, I mean, how cold are wipes? I don't know. I mean, unless you live in like a climate where like your wipes are like freezing, like maybe you live in Alaska, but that's a dumb joke, you guys, don't come for me. But no, I just never saw the use in those, and to me wipes are never that cold, and even if they were, I mean, you can just press them between your hands for like a second and they will get warm because of your body warmth. So I've never found, again, I've had 3 kids of my own. I have a 4th one cooking. I have 3 younger siblings that were born when I was 8, 9, and 10. So I was helping with them when they were born. I've changed many a diaper for children that I babysat or friends' kids that come over, you know, and they've never screamed when a wipe has touched their butts. So for me, it's just one of those items that, again, I just don't see the point for my life and my family, because we probably wouldn't use them. It would probably just sit in the corner, the wipe warmer, gathering dust and stuff, and I would likely have just given it away to somebody or like sent it to a Goodwill or a donation of some sort, because we just probably would have never used it. So and even now that I think about it, because I've used wipes in the bathroom, or there's like feminine wipes that you can use, and I don't mind how they feel. So I don't know why people like to have warm wipes, but to each their own. And that kind of that ties into formula warmers as well. So formula warmer would technically be like an 11th item on this list, but because I haven't said my last item yet. But wipe warmer and formula warmer, I don't really get. I don't know how they're made today, but I know a couple years ago, I just remember reading articles and hearing from parents who would say like it takes a little bit to actually get the formula going, and if you have a crying baby, you know, you don't want to wait. So for my daughter, I remember I used to heat her formula up stovetop with my finger until it felt warm. But my boys, I didn't heat anything up. They would drink it room temperature with water mixed in, or cold. They loved cold milk, so as they got a little older. So yeah, I never really had a use for that. Again, if it works for your life, more power to you, but for me it would have been a waste of money. So for me, it's overrated. And then my last item on the list is a baby bullet. So baby bullets are really cute if you've ever seen them. They come with little, well, I'm not actually sure if they come with the little food containers, so you'll have to forgive me. I have not done enough research on a baby bullet. I've never thought about buying one, but the baby bullet is basically like a magic bullet or a NutriBullet, something that you can put, you know, a ton of vegetables in and close and grind, and then it'll kind of liquefy those things, and it's basically to make your baby's food yourself. But for $60 with these plastic containers, I just don't think it's worth it. I think if you do want to do something like that, why not invest in a NutriBullet for your whole family that's a little bit bigger? You can make bigger quantities. You and your husband can use it. You and your wife, your husband and your husband. But yeah, like why, you know, just invest in the Magic Bullet. It's about the same price. I looked up NutriBullets, and you can buy a NutriBullet for about the same price as well. And you can actually just buy little mason jars, which are made of glass and easier to clean than something plastic, and store baby food in there, as opposed to buying a specific item to make baby food. Because at the end of the day, you may start out really well intentioned to do it and then change your mind, and it's a $60 investment. And again, I don't know if the attachments come with it, like the little food jars and stuff. And also forgive me if those jars are glass, but I was under the impression that they're plastic. So I think investing in a NutriBullet that the whole family can use, and you can even use for dinners if you're making like a pesto or a sauce or a dip, you can use your NutriBullet for that. And then you can use little, you know, glass mason jars for your baby food if you do want to go that route. So I think that would be a better investment kind of as a whole than to buy a baby specific blender. that. Oh, that is not the last thing on my list, you guys. Get to hear me talk about one more thing. So the last item on my list is expensive bed sets. So when you have a baby, if you go to those specialty baby stores, if you're watching this in the United States, we don't have Babies R Us anymore, which is really sad. But when we did, they were in there. Bye Bye Baby has them. I'm sure other baby specific stores have them. Bed sets that can cost you way over $200 by the time you're done buying the set. So the actual bed in the bag usually go for like $170, $180, and then by the time you buy all the things that go with it, including stuff that you're not technically supposed to have in a crib with the baby at the time that they're born, pillows, bumpers, blankets, you have spent a significant amount of money that could have actually bought a crib or a mama-roo, which is on my necessity list. No, but you've actually spent a significant amount of money on one bed set with a bumper that's going to have no use other than aesthetic. And a lot of people are so they go crazy when you talk about SIDS or risks of children suffocating, because there are people that believe whatever, I'll sleep with my baby on her stomach on my chest for her whole life and it'll be okay. And then there are people that don't risk it. So I don't want to really put that argument out there for this video. It's not really about that, but bumpers are not considered safe for newborn babies. So why spend so much money to have a pretty one, you know? The ruffle for the bottom of the bed that no one's gonna really see, especially in a lot of cribs. Like if I had a ruffle for the bottom of my boy's sheets, you wouldn't have seen it anyway because of the style of his crib. So basically my thought process on those bed sets that are so expensive for one set, you're not really gonna use some of that stuff initially or at all, and it's just one blanket, so, or one fitted sheet. So your baby's gonna throw up a lot. Even if you have a baby that doesn't throw up a lot, they're gonna spit up some. They are new, they're newborn babies. Your baby's gonna drool. Your baby's gonna spill her bottle. You know, you're gonna think she's holding it, but she's gonna spill it. Your baby's going to maybe pee through her diaper or his diaper. Your baby might poop and stain the sheet. And what are you gonna just wash the same sheet over and over because it costs you so much money? I mean, to me it's a better investment to buy like a cute set that's maybe 60 bucks and then buy sheets that, you know, for the side, like extra fitted sheets for the crib bed. And to me that's perfect. So not everyone agrees with that. And again, if you have the money, like a lot of this advice is based on practicality for like people who are trying to save a couple bucks. So obviously, if you are Kim Kardashian out there and you want to buy a $3,000 bed set for your baby, girl, do it. I'm okay with that. If I had money, maybe I would do the same thing. Get them like a little Gucci bed set, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not Kim Kardashian. I don't look like her. I don't have the luxuries that she has. My kids don't have the luxuries that hers do, and we don't have that kind of money. So while we'll use the same items, they might be different quality and different price points, and that's okay. If you can afford a $300 bed set for a newborn baby and you want to do it and it's aesthetically pleasing to you, do it, of course. But if you're trying to save a little money and you're a new mom and you're just like, why are bed sets so expensive? Do I really need to buy this? The answer is no. You can go get a cheaper bed set. Go to Target, go to Walmart, go get a cheaper bed set, wash it up. It'll decorate just the same. It'll be just as pretty and you'll enjoy it just as much. And you'll be able to buy more stuff with that 300 bucks than just a bed set and a pillow that your baby's not supposed to use. So definitely just give it a thought before you really go there. There are different alternatives. So don't let anyone convince you need some big fancy bed set that your kid's not even gonna use that long. So yeah. So those were my overrated baby items, you guys. Hopefully no one hates me after this video. I've tried to be really fair. I tried to be really non-judgy. I don't judge you if you want to use these items because we're all different and they might have worked for you, but they just won't work for me and my lifestyle, and I don't really see the point of some of them. Or I use them but do think that they are not necessity for life. So thank you guys for watching. If you use any of these items, or if you have any other overrated baby items, leave them in the comments below and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.